Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello again, Gary here for Bizarre Brain Comics. Welcome. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk about creators, the art, and the stories. This time, we're going to take a look, well, still in February, the month of love. For Valentine's Day, take another look at romance comics. This one is from Marvel Comics, 1975. Yeah, 1975. Our Love Story. And the story we're going to take a look at here is I Do My Thing No Matter Whom It Hurts. And this is a reprint story from 1969 from, what was it called? My Love, #2. So I think Our Love Story is based on what I see here. Primarily a reprint title. Marvel had a lot of those in the 70s. See what the big book of knowledge has to say. Not a lot. Our Love Story, number 37 from 1975. I do my own thing, no matter whom it hurts. Art on this story is by John Buscema, and I believe it was inked by John Romita. And this is a romance series for Marvel Comics running from 69 to 76. And it's primarily featured reprint stories from previous romance titles by Marvel and Atlas. And I say that because some of this issue has 3 stories in it. And of course, this one that we're featuring is the most recent. But the other 2 look like they're from the early 60s or 50s. Just based on the art style, the storytelling style, and the clothing styles of the characters. And this is of course, romance comics are a thing of the past now, and often looked down on derision. But it was a very popular genre for decades. And they had some very interesting and sometimes convoluted storylines. Of course, they're all mostly short stories, and some very nice artwork. Very nice, very clean. Almost all the artists had some very nice, clean style, or at least used a clean style, nice clean style in these, because they needed to be, because they were originally intended primarily, of course, for young girls. Mm-hmm. So, you want to go take a look at Our Love Story? Well, let's look inside the pages and see what happens in I Do My Own Thing. Okay, now you can see get a better view of the whole cover. It's a really, really nice cover illustration drawn by John Buscema. And this young lady here, of course, it's very, very lovely. Both of these females on the cover, very lovely. And And for the time, this gal dancing here is surprisingly sexy for the time and for the genre, as it as she is in through the whole story. Now, when I took a look at this, I first opened the page to take a look at it. First thing I thought, oh, that's because there's no credits, no art credits, and I couldn't find the looking online. I couldn't find the writer. Might be Stanley himself. But when I first took a look, I said, "Oh, that's John Romita," but I was wrong. That's why I think he did. Like I said, there's no credits. I couldn't even find credits for his inking online on this. But I had a mention for a previous issue that featured John Buscema's pencils with John Romita's inking, and that's why I think here, because it just looks like Jean Romita, the way the hair is done on this fella here, and and the inside, because when I first took a look, as I said, well, that's John Romita, and then a nice splash page as an introduction to the story, and then when I took a look over here, I saw primarily this profile right here. Oh, that's a John Buscema profile. And then I took a closer look at the artwork and said, oh yeah, that's John Buscema. But I still see a lot of, and especially then also this in the flashback, this little girl, that's a John Buscema little girl. And but I see a lot of John Romita especially in the face of these guys, but also in later depictions of the ladies. Now, of course, one of the prerequisites for successful romance comics art was a necessity to be able to draw very lovely ladies, young ladies, and very handsome young men, as opposed to the bulky, very heroic images from the superhero titles. So I think that the two worked well held, because John Buscema, he was just a great artist. He could do very beautiful and sexy women, and of course he spent a major part of his career doing the Conan the Barbarian titles, and so he had very big, bulky, muscular lead character there, but always very, very lovely and sexy women all throughout the series. But he just softened it just a bit, and then plus the John Romita inks just softens it enough, because John Romita was very successful in romance comics before he started doing Daredevil, and then Spider-Man. And as I have said before, John Romita is my personal favorite Spider-Man artist, more than Ditko and more than his son and all the others. But let's get started here. Our love story. I do my own thing, no matter whom it hurts. And here we see this young lady, probably her early 20s, and she's a go-go dancer at this nightclub. You can see the band backing her up, and the fringed on this little bikini thing. That's all you can see, and it's just wiggling around, moving around. Would be very eye-catching. There's another obvious John Buscema profile of this lady here, and it just says, "Go, Faye, go." So that's our introduction to the character. Her name is Faye. "You're really out of sight." "Hurry, Harry, the number's almost over." So she is obviously she's platinum blonde, very, very popular at her job as a go-go dancer. And here she is back in the dressing room with the other ladies are getting dressed for their dance numbers. And as usual, nice crisp backgrounds, and even the background figures are very nice. And here you can really see some John Romita influence, the inking in her face, as well as especially right here. It is just a really, really lovely drawn face. And so she's thinking to herself that she's changing, and something just happened, and she's reminiscing how when she was a little girl, and here's her mother giving her this special old dolly that she'd really wanted, but then she sees this dolly that this other little girl has, and then she just totally loses interest in this dolly that she had been wanting because she wants that dolly of the other girl. She always wants what she can't have. And then here she is, still is in flashback when she's dating this one fella, and he's wanting her to go stay. This is back like in high school or something, in a soda shop, and this other good-looking fella comes up and starts talking to her right in front of her boyfriend, and she doesn't mind because she just turns him on. I mean, he just turns her on. And there's no problem just walking off and leaving her boyfriend right there, taking off with this other guy. That tells you a little bit about the character. And here she is on the stage again, just dancing away and still reminiscing about, this is still reminiscing how she met this guy on the job. And she started going out and oh, Marty, yes, I will. He just asked her to marry him. Oh, yeah. And again, you can really see the John Romita influence here in this inking. Very nice. And I think the whole flashback sequence is done very, very nicely. I like the wavy borders and the like. But then after work, they're all, or the next day, whatever, they're pulled into. All the employees are pulled into the office, and this guy by the name of Nick Duran, he introduces himself again. Just really look at the backgrounds. Really nice, clean, crisp, realistic backgrounds, and the way that suit fits on him and the folds and everything. It's really, really nice. And he really handsome young man. And he says he just bought the place, and there might be a few changes, but glad to have you working for me. So here she goes up and introduces himself because she's really attracted to this fella, and introduces herself to him, and he seems to be flirting a little bit with her. And she says, "Oh, this is gonna be cake. I'm gonna have him wrapped around my little finger type thing." So then the next day, there she is with her boyfriend she had just agreed to marry, and she breaks it off with him. Nope. It's kind of sad, but he's just heartbroken. And then here she is interrupted at night. Oh, it's harder than I expected to sleep. Her conscience is bothering her. The way she broke it off. But then here she is the next day walking to work. Again, nice backgrounds, and just the nice way of depicting the fashions of the times. And of course, she's such an attractive young lady. You can see all the men on the street just gawking at her. And then she walks up in front of the club for work, and sees Nick. And there's this pretty redheaded lady she's never seen before getting out. And he's helping her out. And then he introduces her to Faye as his wife. What? You're married? She's surprised because she thought she was going to have him wrapped around her little finger. And I'm changing the club to a steakhouse for family dining. So everyone's fired. No more need for the sexy dancing girls. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And then inside her, she says, what are we going to do? And all the other girls are gathering up their stuff, and she's gathering her things. And so she quickly thinks, oh, I've got to call Marty. And she tries to get a hold of Marty, and oh no, said no. As she gets a hold of a friend or roommate or whatever, and turns out that Marty has packed up and left town. Said he was just so brokenhearted. And oh my gosh, yeah, she screwed things over. She screwed herself there. The nice detail on the telephone and the natural way in which she holds it and everything, it's real lovely. And here she is slowly walking out, crossing the dance stage, with tears running down her face, because now she's all alone with no job and no boyfriend. And she says, all my life I thought only of myself, and now this is the payoff. This is where it's at. when all you ever do is your own thing. And of course, the way it pulls away, and it just like the where she's just except for the cleaning lady in the background, she's just all alone there. It's a great way of showing how alone she is, all by herself. And that's the end. So she screwed herself over. Her selfishness did her in. So, okay, I really, really like the artwork. I think it's a well-crafted story, and most romance stories end in these comics on a happy ending. And this one doesn't. I think it's a nice contrast. So so it comes out being a well-crafted story. Here you can see the next story, and you can really see the art style and the clothing style. This really looks like the 50s. So this is probably from the days of Atlas. And same thing with this. If I can get to it. The third story. It really looks 50s. Really, really looks 50s. Nice artwork on both of them, but just not as much. John Buscema and John Romita, they just did a wonderful job on the artwork here, and I really like it. That's the reason I did, because I was just really attracted to the artwork here and to the alternative ending for the story. It's completely different from most romance stories. So she was just a selfish girl, and playing off her looks, trying to change up at every opportunity, and didn't care who she hurt until she hurt herself. So that's all I've got for this time around. I hope you enjoyed it. That'll be the last of the romance comics for a while. I have some others I want to do sometime in the future, but not now. So hope you liked it. Hope you like that artwork. Some really, really nice, lovely artwork. It's a nice contrast for their John Buscema's more heroic material. Although I wouldn't want to do it all the time, but it's a nice contrast. So I hope you liked it. Please like, share it with your other comic book friends, or just those interested in love stories. And remember, comics are art.